Older women often get told what to do to attract a man, keep a man, or impress a man. But here's what no one talks about: what happens after intimacy. That quiet moment after the closeness, when the room is still and everything feels exposed. Most women, especially mature ones, assume the emotional heavy lifting is over once the lights go out. But that's where many go wrong, because for men, that moment after intimacy says everything. It's not just about what happened, it's about what happens next. And sadly, most women miss this entirely. This isn't about games, it's about truth. A study published in the Journal of Sex Research found that post-intimacy behavior deeply impacts emotional bonding in both partners, but especially men, contrary to stereotypes. In a research sample of over 900 adult men, nearly 72% admitted they felt more emotionally sensitive after intimacy than they let on. But here's the kicker: they often hide it, especially if they think their partner won't get it. And unfortunately, many older women, despite their experience and maturity, miss these subtle needs, not because they don't care, but because no one ever taught them what to look for. Let's be clear, men aren't as simple as they seem. They won't always say it, but they want to feel safe too. They want to feel understood. After intimacy, a man becomes his most vulnerable self. Not in a dramatic fall-apart way, but in a subtle, silent kind of way. He's not looking for grand declarations, but there are 7 things men secretly crave from older women in that delicate window of time. And knowing this, just knowing this, can change everything in a relationship. These aren't tricks, these are emotional truths, and when you understand them, you stop guessing and start connecting. The first thing he wants, but rarely asks for, is reassurance, not in the form of praise or performance scores. No man wants to feel evaluated. What he craves is a silent kind of confirmation that what just happened mattered. It doesn't have to be spoken. Sometimes it's in the way you stay close, instead of getting up to clean the room or check your phone. Sometimes it's in the way you let the silence be comfortable, instead of rushing to fill it. Men often equate emotional safety with a kind of presence. If you're still there, emotionally, physically, it signals to him that he didn't just fulfill a physical need, he made a connection. Second, he wants acceptance. After intimacy, a man's walls are down. He's not in control. He's not the provider or the protector. He's just a human, and in that moment, what he wants more than anything is to feel that he's enough. Many older women have learned to be emotionally self-sufficient. That's a strength. But when it turns into emotional detachment, men feel dismissed. One participant in a relationship study led by psychologist Dr. Sarah Whitman said, "After sex, I just wanted to lay there and not feel like I was being dismissed. But she always got up and acted like we were just roommates again." Men don't want to feel like a checkbox on your to-do list. After intimacy, even a quiet moment of closeness can signal something deeper than words ever could. By the way, if this is resonating and you've ever found yourself asking, why did he pull away when things were just getting good? We created something just for you. It's called the 7-Step Male Mind Decoder, and it breaks down exactly what's going on in his head, even when he won't say a word. You'll learn how to read the signals, spot real commitment, and stop second-guessing yourself. The link to download it is in the description. And yes, it's free. Third, he wants emotional connection without interrogation. A lot of women, especially older ones who've been through disappointing relationships, want to check in emotionally after intimacy. They want to ask, what are we? Or where is this going? But right after being physically vulnerable is the worst time to corner a man emotionally. His brain isn't wired to process pressure in that moment. Studies on male neurochemistry show that after intimacy, men experience a temporary dip in dopamine and a rise in prolactin, a hormonal shift that often creates a desire for peace, not pressure. What he wants is connection, not confrontation. If you want answers, wait. Let the emotional energy settle. That grace will speak volumes to him. Fourth, he wants a signal that he can relax. You'd be surprised how many men spend intimacy performing. Not just physically, but emotionally. They want to impress, they want to satisfy, and they often don't feel safe dropping their guard unless they know you're content. That's why a simple gesture, resting your hand on his chest, making eye contact without saying a word, tells him more than any compliment ever could. A 2020 relationship survey by eHarmony found that men rated post-intimacy affection as a top indicator of emotional safety in relationships. It's not about validation, it's about letting him breathe, knowing he's enough. That safety is what makes him want to stay. Fifth, he wants consistency, not in routine, but in energy. If you act affectionate during intimacy but cold right after, it creates emotional whiplash. Men may not voice it, but they notice. A case study published in Men's Health Psychology Quarterly documented a pattern in long-term relationships where men slowly became distant after repeated experiences of warmth, followed by withdrawal from their partner post-intimacy. The men weren't withdrawing out of boredom, they were self-protecting, because mixed signals, even subtle ones, erode trust over time. For older women especially, who may have grown used to self-preservation after divorce, betrayal, or long periods alone, this can be an unconscious habit, but it sends a loud message. I was only close because I had to be. And no man wants to feel used, even emotionally. Sixth, he wants a chance to give, not just receive. After intimacy, women often expect to be cared for emotionally, and that's valid. But men also want to care. They want to know if you're okay. They want to feel like they can do something for you, even if it's small. Letting him get you a glass of water, or just telling him, "I feel safe with you," gives him a role beyond the bedroom. Men want to feel useful, but not in a task-based way. They want to feel that they made a difference in your emotional state, that they were not just present but impactful. Give him space to be that. Finally, and this may surprise you, he wants silence, not forever, not as rejection, but as presence. Men don't always process intimacy with words. In fact, too much talking immediately after can feel like static. What he wants is stillness, breathing in sync, a few moments where nothing needs to be said, where both of you just exist in the same space, letting the emotional weight settle. According to relationship counselor Dr. Evan Marks, post-intimacy silence is often where the deepest connection happens. It's where men stop performing and start feeling. For older women who are used to managing, fixing, or resolving, this can feel counterintuitive. But that stillness, that's where he feels you most. Now, why does this matter? Because if you want emotional depth, not just physical connection, you have to show up for the whole man. That includes the part of him that's quiet after the lights go out. It means tuning into the unspoken, not just reacting to the obvious. And as an older woman, you have a unique advantage here. You have life experience. You know how to read people. You know that love isn't loud. It's often quiet, respectful, present, thoughtful. So what happens when you give him these 7 things? You shift the entire energy of the relationship. He starts to associate you with safety, not just excitement. He relaxes into you. He opens up more, not right away, but consistently. Because you're doing something rare. You're seeing him when he's not trying to be seen. And that's powerful. Here's the thing, men don't always need more romance. They need more recognition. Recognition of who they are when they're most exposed. And that happens right after intimacy. If you meet him there, not with pressure, not with performance, but with presence, you don't just become another partner. You become his person. And isn't that the goal? Not to impress, not to manage, but to connect, to matter, to be remembered in the quiet moments, not because you said the right thing, but because you understood what he couldn't say. Most women chase words, but the wisest ones, they master silence. Because sometimes what he wants most after intimacy isn't more of you, but more of himself, reflected back through your calm. That's not just chemistry, that's connection. And when you give that, he doesn't just come closer, he stays. If you're tired of guessing what he's thinking and you're ready to attract a man who actually shows up the way you deserve, go grab your free copy of the 7-Step Male Mind Decoder. It's helped thousands of women cut through the confusion and finally feel confident in love again. Just click the link in the description to get instant free access.